I promise this will be the last video on this subject, at least for the foreseeable future, about women as housewives. See, here's the thing. I did a video the other day, or like 2 days ago, about women who are shocked they're in their early 30s, they have careers, and they couldn't find men to date who are ambitious and made good money. And I made a simple point, and I back it up with data from Jezebel, a feminist website, showing that men are mostly attracted to 20-year-olds. That means a guy with a successful career who makes a lot of money, he's probably going to want a younger woman. That's what men are after. But more importantly, the number one factor in success, parenthood. That was from a video I just did. Well, here we have another story. Woman quits job to spoil husband like a 1950s housewife. It just so happened this story emerged around the same time, from September 30th, just a couple days ago. And it's basically about, it's almost like a cosplay, I guess. I mean, I don't know, because it's one thing to just be a housewife. You know, it's another thing to like wear the 1950s clothes and watch vintage TV shows and like sit on your vintage furniture, I guess. So anyway, I'm doing this story as kind of some levity to the situation. Apparently, my videos sparked a controversy and feminists were outraged, and they tended to be, 30-year-old feminists who worked careers and didn't have families, and I can understand why that was offensive to them, because I was saying you're not going to find, it's going to be harder for you, for the most part, to find attractive and successful men. Take a look at, look at Trump. How much younger is his wife? But anyway, guys with money and power go for younger women. That's a fact. But now let's read this. I gotta admit, this story's a bit silly. It's a bit silly, a little over the top, but hey, to each their own. If she wants to be a 50s housewife and dress like that, well then good for her. Let's read from the New York Post. Katrina Holt is not a modern woman. After 3 years of happy marriage and getting stressed out by her job in a busy payroll department, she decided in 2018 to turn back time and live like a 1950s housewife. That's when Holt, 30, transformed her Hillsboro, Oregon home into a suburban shrine to the pre-era era, busying herself cleaning, making dresses using vintage patterns, and getting dinner on the table by the time her husband Lars, 28, gets home from his job as an engineering manager. I feel like I'm living how I always wanted to. It's my dream life, and my husband shares my vision, she says as a vinyl Doris Day soundtrack plays in the background. It is a lot of work. I do tons of dishes, laundry, and ironing, but I love it. And it's helping to take care of my husband, and that makes me really happy. Now, I think one reason that this story gets a lot of play among conservatives is that they'll prop it up as evidence of a greater cultural truth, that women would be happier doing this. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think women are happy choosing what they want to do. And that means if there's a woman who's in her 30s and she wants to work in a payroll department and not be a 50s housewife, she made that choice based on what she thought would make her happier, just like literally any human being, regardless if you're male or female, if you're Mexican, Latino, black, white, whatever. People make decisions. Sometimes their decisions are wrong and they end up less happy than they were before, but for the most part, a person's choice is their own choice. So I don't think this is indicative of any greater truth. We've seen people like Gavin McInnes say women would be happier at home. Well, I disagree. I disagree on the grounds that they aren't doing it. If they really wanted to do it, they would, just like she did. In fact, I think this is proof that it's kind of okay the way it is. It may be true that there are a lot of women who would be happier and are scared to do it or don't want to, but the reality is, here's a woman who just went and did it, and she's happier for it. And I am absolutely positive most women I know would absolutely not be happy doing this. But let's read. She says, they go on to say, yes, her closet is full of flattering frocks she sewed herself, and the home's decor is retro as all get out, but it's not like it's a museum, Holt tells PA Real Life. When I look at everything that is happening in the world now, I feel like I belong in a nicer, more old-fashioned time, she says. I agree with old-fashioned values like being a housewife, taking care of your family, nurturing the people in it, and keeping your house in excellent condition so everyone feels relaxed. But of course, the part-time seamstress of 10 years, who sells her handmade garments online, asked for Lars' permission before leaving the workforce. I spoke to my husband and told him that I want to be a housewife, and he said that was fine with him. It was a fantastic feeling when I quit. I can do what I want to now and run my house as I want to run it. Now I'm a full-time homemaker. Man, I mentioned in the last video that if all of my social media was banned, I'd be like, whoo, and I'd just go off to the woods, go fishing, sit up, look at the stars, have a nice campfire, and just, man, get away from everything. I gotta admit, every so often, it would be really nice to just lounge around all day playing video games and reading a book. For me, though, I'm driven to do other things, and that's why I won't. There's no obligation for me to sit here and make videos like this. But I can fully understand her feeling when she quit her job and started focusing on exactly what she wanted to do, because it's actually what I did. I worked for big companies. I remember I used to work for American Eagle Airlines, a regional airline. I remember when I quit. And all of a sudden, I was just staring at the open world, and I said, wow, that's amazing. I didn't have any money, and that was kind of scary, but it seriously is like sometimes you're in a bad position and you just want to get out. I can totally respect that. And I am where I am today because I learned that lesson early on. I went to work for Vice, I worked for Fusion, and after Fusion, I said, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to wake up when I want to wake up. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. I will call no man Mr. No man master, but you get the joke. And so here she is saying she's doing the same thing. She's doing what makes her happy, and she's relaxing and living the life that she wants to. And I think that's the most important takeaway. It's your choice, man. It's your life. She's got a great partner who respects her decision to do it, makes him happy, she's happy. That's what I'm talking about. Just do what makes you happy so long as you're not infringing on the rights of others. If you're mad that someone rejects you because you don't want to do this, well, then just find someone else. There's more fish in the sea, They say Holt's typical day starts at 6:30 a.m. when she wakes up and lays out Lars's clothes before preparing his breakfast and packing his lunch. After feeding herself, she does 15 minutes of gentler exercises from yesteryear. I'm not super concerned about her routine. Let's read about when the man of the house returns. When Lars gets home, he actually likes to hang up his own coat, but Holt doesn't mind. I read in a 1950s book that if a man wants to hang his own coat up, you should not feel like it makes you a bad housewife. Instead, she serves him a refreshing glass of water and a plate of snacks, cheese, dried fruits, or nuts, before putting the finishing touches on her entree. After dinner, we play board games like Scrabble or watch our vintage shows like I Love Lucy or The Donna Reed Show. Sometimes we read. I like reading 1950s cookbooks and vintage beauty and sewing magazines. Now I'd like to pause and address the weird criticisms from the feminists and even the anti-feminists, acting that because I said what I said, I was looking for a traditional wife. I'm sorry, you're wrong. This to me sounds unenjoyable. I don't want to get home and have some doting housewife prepare a meal for me and have like a glass of water and take my coat or anything like that. I'm just talking about having someone manage my social circumstances. That was my point. Like, I don't expect to come home and you be like, hello, dear, and take my jacket and there's fresh cookies in the oven and we're having roast for dinner. No, just once I'm done working, I can be like, what's going on? What are you up to? And the bigger issue is just about being there for the kids while I'm working. I understand that may be her prospect as well. Like she'll do family stuff with kids too. I don't know if they have kids. But the point is, this is a bit over the top. I don't want to watch I Love Lucy or The Donna Reed Show, and no, I don't want to be served food once I'm finished working. I can make my own food or order. It's no big deal. I'm just looking for someone who wants to manage social aspects of life. And this is the really, really funny thing about all the criticism from all the outraged feminists. It's like, dude, I made a simple point. In my life, the person I need will be like, hey, there's a movie playing later. I bought us tickets to go see Joker tomorrow. We're going to do 6 p.m. That works for you, right? And I'll be like, yeah, that's perfect. Cool. And I'll be like, awesome. I don't got to worry about that stuff. That would be great. I don't care for a woman wearing frilly dresses and preparing my meals or anything. I'm just saying I'd prefer not to have someone who's working all the time because I would never see them. It's just so mind-blowing. If people are like, Tim's asking for a traditional wife. No, I'm not. Not at all. I'm just asking for someone who isn't at work all the time. Hey, better yet, if you make YouTube videos and you work all the time, that actually works too, because then you're not outside. The main point was, how do you have a relationship with somebody who's at work as much as you are and you never see each other? And then who takes care of the family? Nobody. That's not traditional. It's technically traditional, but come on. This is something different. But hey, like I'll say this too. I mean no disrespect. I think it's very nice to see people doing what makes them feel good. And if that's this, then hey, more power to you. The way I always explain it, if you want to just be a clown and walk around the streets juggling bananas, I got no beef. In fact, I got respect for you. It takes guts. Just don't, once you start throwing those bananas at people is when you cross the line and you're infringing on other people's rights. So hey, do you. So they say yes when they aren't spinning Sinatra or Day on the record player. The couple does watch TV. No cable or streaming channels, thank you. But when it's not in use, they keep it hidden away so as not to disrupt the mid-century modern vibe. But make no mistake, Holt says, Lars is not a controlling hubby. He grew up in a house where he helped his mom with the cooking and did the cleaning. So he is not domineering in any way, she says. If I did, heaven forbid, have dinner late, he would not make a fuss, but I can tell it means a lot to him that it's normally on time. Bottom line is, a man needs his wife to make him feel spoiled every once in a while. Besides, that's the payoff. Because he makes a lot more money than I do, he works very long hours and makes my dreams come true, so I try to make his dreams come true too. It's an equal partnership. Yes. Isn't that what it always was? I think the problem with the actual traditional world was that women didn't really have a choice. I mean, truth be told, neither did men. Men couldn't stay at home to raise the kids. Now, I think there is a bigger problem in that, based on the data I've looked at, these women, in these stories they're working women who are looking for men who make more than they do or as much. And that's an interesting predicament, that you could have a situation where it's socially acceptable to be a housewife, but women complain when men don't make enough money. Well, therein lies a big problem. The problem back in the day was that there was no choice. Today there is. And I think all that really matters is if a woman wants to work, nothing should stand in her way. If she wants to be a career CEO, nothing should stand in her way. And if she wants to be a housewife, nothing should stand in her way either. And the same is true for men. If a guy wants to stay at home, be a house husband with the kids, nothing should stand in his way. And if he wants to be a CEO, same thing. The only thing that's stand in your way are your own obstacles. It's all about equality. But I found this story, I actually really like it. Live by the golden rule. She says, I think we as women should support each other. If a woman says she wants to be a homemaker, we should not say that's not right. What's right for me might not be right for someone else. We all have to do what's right for ourselves. Absolutely. Do others, the golden rule, do to others what you want them to do to you. Actually, I don't think that's actually a good rule because some people are masochists and others aren't. So, you get the point. But anyway, that's the message, Live how you want to live as long as you don't infringe on others' rights, and stop getting bent out of shape because I talked about my personal preferences or you don't like the way men behave. I mean, look, in terms of breaking the law and social norms, we can talk about the bad things men do. I'm right there with you. Well, let's talk about it. But you can't get mad that men have preferences. Okay, I'm done. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m., podcast at 6:30 p.m. Thanks for hanging out.